Okay, hey, thanks for coming back with us. We're going through all the steps you need to think about when you're getting a new computer. We already talked about steps 1 and 2, so if you haven't watched that video, go watch that video. That was determining what kind of budget you have for the next 5 years for that computer and what operating system. Macintosh, less problems, twice as much money, or Windows, the global leader, more problems, less money. So those are the first two. The next two we're going to talk about is the style of the computer and the size of the monitor. Those two things kind of go hand in hand. Now, a lot of times when you think about getting a new computer, you think about the basics, either a desktop or a laptop. But now there's a third player, that'd be a tablet. Okay, so there's three choices if you're going to replace your computer. Desktop, which ironically doesn't usually always sit on your desk, it sits on the floor. Laptop, which ironically does not sit in your lap but on the desk. And a tablet. So you got to choose between those three. To start with, a desktop is what I prefer. Actually, the lifespan of a desktop's a little bit longer than the lifespan of a laptop by about 1 year. More cooling and fans and stuff can keep it cool. But the desktop, by default, has a larger screen, big screen. Like this monitor right here is a 19-inch screen, and that's actually low or small for a desktop computer. So, but you could put a bigger screen on there. Now, the problem is with laptops is that you usually tend to have more neck and back pain if you're going to sit at that computer for 10 hours a day. See, ergonomically, you're supposed to have your keyboard right about where your elbow is hanging in the chair. So if you hang your elbows down right now, that's where your keyboard should be, okay? Now your screen should be where your eyes are, right about at eye level like this. So you should be looking at your screen like that. So if you're on a desk, you can do that. You could put your keyboard a little bit lower or in a drawer underneath your desk, and you can put your screen a little bit higher. But on a laptop, when you open it up, you're kind of craned down like this. Your neck is craned down. Your wrists are kind of usually closer together like this, and then they're kind of at an angle, And the screen is usually 15 inches. The average size of a laptop screen is 15 inches. And that puts a lot of strain on your eyes and your neck and your wrists and things like that. So think about that. But desktops do tend to last a little bit longer and have the ability to upgrade things. Like you can't at all easily replace a motherboard for a laptop. Okay, but a desktop is a little bit easier. Hard drives a little bit easier. Adding a new CD player or something like that tends to be a little bit better on a desktop. But you may be looking at a laptop. Now, laptops typically have a screen about 15.6 inches. Don't know why they made it that, but 15.6 is the size of the screen. So that's about the size of this white screen here on my large screen here. In fact, a little bit more like that. Okay. That's about the size of a laptop screen, and this is about the size of a desktop screen, but this is a small screen. We'll talk about that in a second. But let's see, with laptops, you can actually add a screen to a laptop. Now, you can't change the one that's built into it, but you can plug a monitor into the side and work off of that. So let's say I have a laptop sitting right here where my telephone is. I could take my screen and plug it into the side of the laptop. I could take a keyboard and plug it into the side of the laptop. And I could take a mouse and plug it into the side of the laptop. So really, I'm working on a laptop over here, even though I'm facing this way. So you want to make sure that that is an option as well. So maybe you do travel, you keep your laptop here on the desk and work on it. I type really fast. You work on it while you're in the office, and then when you go on a trip, you unplug everything, take the laptop with you, and then your neck's like this for your trip. But you shouldn't be working on your trip anyway. You're supposed to be relaxing. So anyway, that's an option though. You can get a laptop and then add the screen when you're at your house. Now, one of the great things about the laptop though is it's so portable. You can carry it around all over the place. Usually the battery life is about 2 to 3 hours for a laptop nowadays. Sometimes a little bit more expensive ones are a little bit longer, like maybe 4 hours. They have ones called Ultrabooks. They have less weight. So they actually don't have a CD drive in there. They don't have a large battery, but they cool it more efficiently, and it'll last about 4 hours. Or you could even consider getting something like this. The third option is a tablet. Now, Apple invented the tablet. Okay, we're talking 15 years ago. They had invented something called they invented something that I forgot what the name of it was, but a Newton, N-E-W-T-O-N, a Newton. And they had something, and it just didn't catch on. Nobody knew what to do with it. It was just kind of weird. And you drew on the screen with a pen. It was odd. But that was out like probably 20 years ago. Then they came out with the iPad. So they're the forerunner of tablet technology, the iPad. But then there's other players too. There's Samsung makes products. Windows makes some products. Google makes a Nexus. Anyways, different tablets like this. But these will last 24 hours without recharging it. You can actually do your email and check your internet and check your scores, watch TV, things like that on here. But it's an entirely different animal than a desktop or a laptop. So I usually tell people you shouldn't jump into a tablet. The reason is you can't load software on there because there's no CD-ROM drive. In fact, this one doesn't even have a USB drive. Okay, well, it's got a camera. No, it doesn't have a camera on the back, just on the front. So a lot of different things when it comes to this. You can't load Quicken, for instance. Okay, Quicken will not work on most tablets. Oh, certain Windows tablet it will. Things that you're used to doing things a certain way don't operate the same. Plus, there's no keyboard, by the way. So you could buy a keyboard and attach it to it for about $100. But really, I would say get a laptop. If you're really going to be typing a lot on there, then go ahead and get a laptop that's about the same price where everything's built together already. And then you have all the features of a desktop and a laptop without moving into the tablet world. But tablets are a good option, but I would not recommend that to anybody as their primary computer. You will go crazy. You can't store all your data on a tablet. Okay, you could store 1/10 of your pictures as opposed to 100% of your pictures. So don't even think about replacing your desktop with a tablet. But this is a great option. So if you don't want to take your computers on a trip with you, like I told you, people take a laptop on a trip. I have actually carried my entire desktop on vacation before, but I'm a little crazy. You could take just your tablet. That way you could check your email, do some correspondence, maybe check your bank statement or watch the internet or whatever on this on your trip. But don't rely on this when you get back to the office and try to work like that typing, okay? So you got 3 choices there: desktop, laptop, or a tablet. Now the next thing though is about monitors. You know, I told you about this monitor right here. This is a 19-inch monitor, and this would go for about $100 at Micro Center. You can get a 23-inch monitor, maybe about that big, for about $120. So not that much more for a 23-inch monitor. Those previously were $400 for a 23-inch. Now they're really dropping in prices. So I would really consider a very nice monitor. If you do have one of those big clunky CRT monitors, the ones that weigh about 50 to 75 pounds, please get another monitor. Yours is going to go bad sooner or later, and these are great replacements, use a lot less electricity. You could twist it like this, where you can't twist those big ones, you know. Very easy to carry around. I did take a monitor and a desktop on family vacation with me the other day. But besides that, 23 inch is a really great size. 24 inch starts to get more expensive. We're talking about $250 for 1 more inch. That much more. And you know how much 1 inch makes a difference? A lot. So don't really pay for a 24-inch monitor. You can get even bigger ones, but those really exponentially go up in price. So a 23 inch is a great size. They have ones called LCD or LED. Those are the different technology of lights behind the monitor. Really hard to tell the difference. One of them uses less electricity. Not even really sure which one it is. I wouldn't really make that a determining factor. But one great thing, if you're either on a laptop or a desktop, you could put 2 monitors on your desktop. Okay, I operate with 4 monitors, and I really have a hard time operating with less than 3. I must have 3 to operate mentally okay. Because then it actually saves you time and makes you more efficient. It's been said 17% more efficient if you have 2 monitors. So if you have 3, you're probably 30% more efficient, all right? Because instead of having to minimize things, you go up here and you hit minimize. You got to open it up again and hit maximize. Instead of doing that, you just turn your head, right? So I could have QuickBooks here, I could have my internet here, and I could have my email over here, all at the same time without having to go up and down and minimize things. So consider that, putting 1 or 2 monitors on your desktop. I actually think that most desktops come with 2 jacks automatically. You don't even have to pay anything other than a second monitor. So you can get 2 monitors on a desktop, and you could stick 1 or 2 monitors on a laptop. A little crazy, but you could see this screen. You could have a screen next to it having 2 different pictures, and even a 3rd screen on a laptop. But just be thinking about that, especially if you're an accountant or somebody who needs to look at a lot of data simultaneously like this. You might consider getting more than 1 monitor on your screen. Okay, so those are the next 2 features: the style of your computer, desktop, laptop, or tablet, and what size of screen. Stay tuned for our next section. We'll get to some more of the nitty-gritty about the computer technology.